Welcome back to Movie Moshow. Today we are going to review the action superhero film, Watchmen. If you like our content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We post multiple times daily. Spoilers ahead. In 1985, as a guy in a Manhattan apartment watches the news about the Cold War's growing tensions and President Richard Nixon's response, an unidentified assailant strikes and throws him to the street below. A montage that covers the emergence of costumed crime fighters from 1939 to 1977, ending in public outrage and the passage of an anti-vigilante statute, is interspersed throughout the opening titles. Edward Blake, often known as the Comedian, was a costumed hero who served the government, according to Rorschach, a vigilante detective who works illegally. Rorschach tells members of his former group, the Watchmen, that they should be on guard against possible attacks by other vigilantes. 17. Dan Dreiberg, Rorschach's former partner, thinks the man is delusional but expresses his worries to Adrian Veidt, a former criminal turned entrepreneur. Later, Rorschach goes to see Dr. Manhattan, a physicist with unintended superpowers who is useful for national security, but Manhattan is obsessed with energy research and doesn't pay him any attention. At Blake's burial, Manhattan, Veidt, and Dreiberg each share a memory of the comedian's cynicism regarding the Watchman's goal in his final years. A lone mourner pays his respects following the service. Edgar Jacobi, a former supervillain, is the mourner whom Rorschach finds and confronts. Blake allegedly broke into Jacobi's residence recently while he was sleeping, being sad, unmasked, and confused. Rorschach is shocked, but he doesn't believe Jacobi would tell such an absurd lie. An investigative journalist informs Dr. Manhattan during a news conference that several persons who had interacted with Manhattan, including his ex-girlfriend, have been diagnosed with cancer. He snaps and banishes himself to Mars as other reporters barrage Manhattan with inquiries. Manhattan muses over his life in solitude and regrets becoming a weapon. The Warsaw Pact nations behave aggressively while he is away, and Nixon is ready for conflict. Veidt escapes an attempted murder, indicating that Rorschach's masked killer theory is accurate. In order to provide security, Dreiberg takes in Laurie Jupiter, a second-generation vigilante and former friend of Manhattan. Rorschach returns to Jacobi as a result of his inquiry into the murderer. Rorschach is framed for his murder, apprehended, and revealed to be a low-born vagrant while being questioned once again. Rorschach argues to a psychiatrist in prison that he must take action against evil and the ones who perpetrate it. As Dreiberg and Jupiter begin to miss their time spent fighting crime, they don their costumes and free Rorschach from jail. While Dreiberg participates in Rorschach's inquiry into the death of Blake, Manhattan teleports Jupiter to Mars. They discover Veidt in an Antarctic bunker, where he has just oversaw the activation of Dr. Manhattan's energy reactors in New York City and other spots throughout the world. The evidence leads to Veidt as the mastermind. Jupiter, Blake's illegitimate daughter, tries to persuade Manhattan that mankind is worth surviving on Mars, but he is only successful when he finds that Jupiter is Jupiter, a truth so implausible that it restores his respect for life. Veidt acknowledges planning the expulsion of Manhattan, staging the murder, accusing Rorschach, and killing Blake, a spy for him. He has also carried out the last phase of his scheme, which involves setting up his reactors to blow up, killing 15 million people, and turning the world against Manhattan. Manhattan and Jupiter visit a destroyed New York again, put together what happened, and then teleport to Veidt's lair. After a brief fight, Veidt convinces him that the world's nations have set aside their differences in order to concentrate on a common foe. With the exception of Rorschach, who Manhattan reluctantly kills to uphold the New World Order, the Watchmen accept Veidt's proposal and agree to keep it a secret. While Dreiberg criticizes Veidt's moral sacrifice and Jupiter finally accepts her parentage, Manhattan permanently departs for a different galaxy. A colleague journalist is instructed to take anything from a box of crackpot submissions that contains Rorschach's journal by a New York tabloid editor who is disgusted that there is no war to report on. Thank you for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe.